getting into this episode of GH, a lot was going on in this episode. Lucas is a dummy. Lucas is a total idiot. The dumbest fool I've seen. Like, seriously. Like, why is he so surprised that Carly's not supporting him moving into Sidwell's house? Of course she's not going to support that. And for him to sit there and throw Sonny in her face is so corny and cheap. He's naive. Lucas is very naive to think that he can't be used as a tool. That's exactly what you're going to be used as. And little does he know, his own niece is using him. That's exactly what you are. One way or the other, you're a tool. You're being used. Jocelyn is using this to her advantage because it gets her closer to Sidwell and finding out what he's up to. And Sidwell is going to use this to his advantage because of the connection to Sonny. Do I feel like Marco has genuine feelings for Lucas? Absolutely, he does. But Lucas is playing a dangerous game moving into that house. And I find it funny that he doesn't see why Carly's concerned. Of course she's concerned. Nobody in that town trusts Sidwell. She had every right to be concerned. My thing with Carly is she should know better, and she should know that she can't tell a grown man what to do. Like, once she found out he was moving there, for her to say, no, that's not happening, she should have known she was going to get pushed back. The boy is grown. He going to live wherever he want to live at the end of the day. She can't stop him from doing it. All she can do is share her concerns. And she was pissed off when Jocelyn was sitting there okaying him moving in. Like, Jocelyn was in support of it for obvious reasons. And Carly was super disappointed in her. And when Carly was talking to Jocelyn, she let her know how disappointed she was. And she was like, you of all people should know, what Sidwell is capable of. And Jocelyn had a shocked look on her face. I said, Carly, please tell me you didn't just blow your own cover. Like, by even blurting that out. I'm like, Carly, play it safe now. Play it cool. Come up with an excuse for why you said that. I'm just saying, you're supposed to be undercover your damn self. Working a plan here. You don't want Jocelyn to know that you know what she really does. Just saying. But of course, Carly not being supportive of Lucas, all that does is bring him closer to Sidwell and Marco, and is pushing him closer to Ava because Ava supports him. So of course he went crying to Ava, happy that she's the one in the family, her and Jocelyn, that's actually supportive. I'm like, you big dummy. He is so Lucas is, there's no hope for that boy. None whatsoever. He gonna feel so stupid. Like, he gonna feel so stupid when he find out everything that's really going on in that house. Like, he's gonna feel so damn dumb. Marco isn't as squeaky clean as Lucas likes to think he is. Like, the boy is definitely dirty. And Lucas is too stupid and blinded by D to see it. I hope it's worth it. I'm just saying. So anyway, moving on from that. Aunt Stella. She's back to being a busybody. And she figured it out that Portia was pregnant. She's sitting there mad because Curtis didn't tell her. And Curtis was like, well, Portia doesn't want people to know because she in the first trimester. Yeah, but I'm family, though. You should have told me. I'm like, did you not just hear what that man just told you? Are you not listening? It don't matter if you're family. They don't want everybody to know right now. It's complicated. So when he told her about the divorce, her reaction to it did not surprise me not one bit. She was encouraging him to stay in the marriage for the baby's sake, that he needs to fix his marriage. I am so not surprised by that. That's people got to remember, Stella is old school. She's very old school, very stubborn. And that's what people did back in the day, more than they do now. That's what they really did back in the day. They would stay in these long marriages for the sake of their children and all that type of shit, and financial security and all that. That's why a lot of people stayed in those marriages. And that does nothing for anybody. That's just toxic. But that's what Stella knows. And she feels like it would be good for the baby. I don't think it would be. And I'm glad that Curtis kind of, stood up to her and let her know that this isn't her decision to make. This is his. Because she talking about, oh, you're going to regret it if you go through with the divorce and all this. Listen, that's for him to figure out. That's for him and Portia to figure out. Them staying married for the sake of this baby, that would be the dumbest thing they could do. That is not helping this child. That's going to be a whole issue, and it's going to create just a toxic ass marriage, and their marriage is already toxic. So I feel like Stella has a right to her opinion, but she needs to back out. She needs to just let this go, let them do them, and just be quiet. And let them figure that out, but her answer is such an old school answer. It's so old school. And I expect nothing less from Stella. I really don't. Because that's how elders, that's how they be thinking. I've had family members, and people that I know who families stayed in marriages that were not happy, all because of children. That's not good. Like, that's not what you want to do. So anyway, moving on from that. Jordan, Sidwell, and Marco showed up at the gallery or whatever. Marco was happy that Ava supported him and Lucas and wanted her to come by for dinner and whatnot, whatever. Sidwell, of course, feels like, this brings him and Ava closer to being family. And he wants, this to be like peace between him and Carly and Sonny. He is so obsessed with Sonny. It is crazy. Like, every conversation he has with Ava, it's always about Sonny. And Ava was like, listen, Carly don't know peace, okay? Carly don't know the meaning of peaceful, so you're not going to get that from her. And as far as Sonny, if he loses those peers, you're really not going to get no peace out of him, so you might as well just not even hope for that. You would get peace in the Middle East before you get peace with them too. I'm just saying. So Jordan wanted to look at some art pieces or whatever for her new place, and Trina was like, okay, I'm about to show you. Trina took that opportunity to light into Jordan because she felt like Jordan is responsible for her parents getting a divorce. She's basically being a little Aunt Stella Jr., all up in the business. And she is not about to let Jordan get back together with Curtis. She's not about to let that happen. See, that's why people need to stay in their lane, because Trina don't even know everything that's going on. She don't know every little thing. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for Jordan getting this lashing from Trina. I don't feel bad for her at all. You know why? Because she had an opportunity to move on from Curtis and have a good, fun life. A good romantic life. Her and Isaiah could have made a go of it. Hell, her and Isaiah. Not Isaiah, her and Zeke. She had two suitors. You had Isaiah, you had Zeke. Could have been with either one of them. But no. And I hate that the writers did that dumb shit. Like, she had an opportunity to finally move on from Curtis and didn't take neither one. That is crazy as hell. She had a good thing going. I was so pissed off by that. So pissed. Now you in the middle of some mess. For a long time, I was hoping she would have got Curtis out her system. He not worth it. That man is just not worth it. At all. Like, why waste your time with that dude? He's basically ping-ponging back and forth because, it was so funny? I was just about to call Curtis Ridge from B&B. I swear to God, that name was about to come right out my mouth, and I had to stop myself. Because that's who he remind me of. Like, one woman piss you off, you go to the next one. That one piss you off, you go back to the other one. That's just what he does. And it's like, when are they going to realize he's not the prize? Them going back to him or whatever, you're just showing him that he the damn prize. And that's why he think he is. And he's not. Like, move the freak on. He ain't worth all of this. So, in this instance, I don't feel bad for Jordan. I can't feel bad for her, like, at all. I just can't. You doing all this to yourself. You should have just stayed with one of the other suitors that you had and called it a day. So anyway, moving on from that. Everybody was under the assumption that Rocco was going to get community service. Sonny thought that. Rocco himself thought it. Nathan thought it. Everybody thought he was going to get community service. Once everybody kept bringing that up, community service, I knew it wasn't going to go down. I knew something harsher was going to happen. Because Rick was trying to work out a deal for him. Justine was sitting there talking about 1 year of community service. I said, damn, a whole year? That's a lot for a teenager. I was like, good God. And Rick was like, no, 2 months. She said, I'll compromise. How about 6 months? So I guess they settled on that or whatever. Boom. Rick thought he had a good deal in place. Not so fast. Dalton brought his little punk ass up in the department, wanting to talk to Justine alone. And I knew that wasn't good because Britt saw him come in or whatever, and it's not good. I get where Dante was coming from. He was trying to let Laura know that she probably shouldn't go to the courthouse, seeing as how, it's election day or whatever, and Sonny's gonna be there, and Ezra gonna use every opportunity to use that against her. Laura didn't give a damn. Laura said, listen, she loves being the mayor, she loves what she does, but her family come first, and Rocco is her grandson, and she's not about to abandon him right now. And I respect that. I totally respect that. She said, the hell with that job. And I love it. She is not putting that job above her family. I get where Gio and Emma are coming from. I respect the hell out of them, that they want to stand up, step up to the plate and come forward. Rocco was trying to stop Gio from coming forward because he didn't want Gio getting in more trouble with Dante. He didn't want Danny getting in more trouble with Drew. That's why he wanted to take the fall for this. I admire it, but I love how the kids are willing to step up for each other, and Gio is ready to tell Dante and Lulu that this was on him. Emma's ready to step up and say it was on her. They really willing to step up and take fault for this, and I could appreciate that. Them taking accountability. It speaks to their character. But my thing is, if they're gonna be doing these little B&Es, they need to start thinking smart. Like, I'm just saying, if you're gonna break into labs and stuff, don't get caught. Like, have a better plan, because then stuff like this happens. I don't blame Lulu though, because Lulu was not thrilled about Rick representing her son. She was like, yeah, I don't know about that. But Sonny was like, listen, he trying to prove himself to me. This is the best way he could do it right now. Plus, it's a minor offense, so he felt like Rick should be able to handle this. So they all go to the courtroom. They all get to the courthouse. Marco comes slinking his behind up in there talking about, oh, Diane wanted him there to report back to her about, what happened or whatever. I was looking like, yeah, somebody need to call Diane and confirm that, because we all know that's not true. Because if Diane really wanted to know, she would have just called Sonny herself and found out. So they get up in there or whatever. Apparently new evidence done came to light about what happened in the lab. Photos of vandalism, all that type of stuff. So now they trying to slap new charges on Rocco. And Rick was pissed, because Rick was like, first of all, we didn't know anything about this. How come we weren't made aware of this? The judge didn't give a damn. The judge basically said, listen, he's going to be remanded. He's going to be put in custody for 2 days until his bail hearing, and he might not get bail, because that's a maybe. But he will stand trial. I said, oh, hell no. I said, oh, hell to the no. And Laura automatically knew that boy was framed. She knew it. She knew he was framed, because she was like, Dalton never mentioned none of this before when he found Rocco. He never mentioned that his place was vandalized and, property was just, destroyed or whatever, disrupted. He never said none of this. So she knew right then and there, something ain't right with this. And of course, Marco called Sidwell to let him know the outcome didn't go the way that they thought it was, that they thought it would go. So you already know Dalton is about to be sleep with the fish in a minute. And once that verdict came down, I said, oh, it's about to be some smoke in that city. Listen, Sonny, Laura, Lulu, they about to burn that town to the ground. They are about to burn that shit to the ground. It's about to be some smoke in that city. Rocco going to jail? Yeah. Ain't nobody safe now. We all know every last one of them probably gonna go off the rails behind this. And Rocco was just panicking, and I don't blame him, being a minor going to jail, big boy jail. I'm like, yeah, there ain't no place for no little scrawny kid like him. Like, absolutely not. But Dante was trying to reassure him, and Nathan was like, listen, I'm gonna be with you, I'm gonna process you, I'm gonna walk through there with you, trying to calm him down. hopefully they put him in to make sure he's secure. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get some little young boy like that up in there, please. With some hard criminals? Absolutely not. Hell to the no. But you know what? I'm not even totally surprised by that outcome, because politicians, judges, DAs, this is what they love. They love to make an example out of kids and people who come from affluent families. And Rocco is very well connected in that town. Everybody know who he's connected to. He's connected to a lot of powerful people. So naturally, I feel like they just want to make examples out of him. And I feel like Justine wanted to do that from the gate when she was like, oh, I want to give him 1 year of community service. I'm like, that's a little harsh. Like, a year is a bit much. And I feel like she just wanted to show that she tough on crime no matter who you are. They want to show wealthy people and people from affluent families like, oh, you ain't above the law. And the way Sonny was looking at Justine, he was looking at her like, yeah, you know I'm going to get you, right? He looked at her like, yeah, it's going to be some smoke. So anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Peace.